Today we have found one, we're making black pepper beef, one of my all-time favorite ways to cook beef at home. I've made this dish a ton of times and I would love to share with you all my secrets on how you can make it perfect. My name is Ted, I love Asian food and I want to teach you the systems and frameworks and how you can make amazing Asian food at home.
And for me, my best secret when it comes to delicious and quick stir-fries at home is to make your sauces in advance. By making black pepper sauce as your master sauce, you can easily swap out the proteins to get all sorts of different black pepper dishes.
Now when it comes to black pepper beef, the sauce must be peppery, aromatic and full of umami. We made one in a previous video. I'll leave a link below for a full deep dive, but here is a quick version on how you can make it as well.
Start by toasting 30 grams of fresh peppercorns and grinding it in a pestle and mortar. To a wok or medium-low heat, add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil, along with about 40 grams of minced garlic, 40 grams of minced onion, and about 5 grams of minced ginger. Once this starts to brown, add in your black pepper and fry this for another minute. Once you can smell the rich warm notes from your black pepper coming from your wok, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of sugar, a quarter teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of chuho paste, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and half a teaspoon each of light soy sauce and dark soy sauce. Fry this for about 30 seconds to allow the sugars to caramelize and the flavors to intensify. To help deglaze the wok and add another layer of complexity, we're gonna add about 1 tablespoon of Shaoxing rice wine. Next, add in about 3/4 cups worth of stock or water. For me, I'm using chicken stock, and if you want, I have a full video on how you can make chicken stock at home. It's a full deep dive on Asian chicken stock, and I covered everything from how you can use chicken powder and chicken bones, so if you're curious, I've left a link in the description below. Now back to the wok, allow this to simmer and reduce down to a nice thick paste. This will really help us to extract all the flavors and to concentrate them as well. Now add in another 3/4 cups of your chicken stock and allow this to come to a boil. Once done, you can store this and it should fit nicely into a mason jar.
Now here's an important question, what kind of beef can we use? I'm using flank steak here, but you also can use skillet steak, sirloin or even ribeye. I find flank steak to be a good middle ground in terms of taste, texture and budget. Of course, if you use sirloin ribeye, it'll taste better, but it'll cost more as well. So choose a cut that suits your taste and budget. When it comes to preparing beef, the first step is to actually pat it dry. So get some kitchen paper and just gently blot out any excess moisture. As you can see, there's some red residue here. It's not blood, it's actually myoglobin. And by removing this, we can get a nicer, cleaner beef taste and stir fry at the end of the process, and it also allow the beef to absorb more sauce and more flavor. So do this until your kitchen paper turns out dry.
Now to ensure that our beef turns out nice and tender, we need to make sure that we cut across the grain and we need to velvet this as well.
Now when it comes to cutting the beef, we must make sure that we are cutting against the grain in order to have a nice tender bite. But how do we know that we're cutting against the grain? Here's how we can find out. So the first step is to identify how the muscle fibers are running. So if you look at your piece of meat, and you give it a gentle pull, you can actually see the different lines, and that would be each of the individual muscle fibers.
Here's a look at the same piece of steak from different angles. When you look at it lengthwise, you can see the muscle fibers running across, but when you look at it from the cross section, you can actually see the individual muscle fibers. So when you're slicing across the grain, you're basically slicing across each muscle fiber. So when done right, each slice of the beef should look just like the cross section. By doing so, it'll be a lot easier for the beef to fall apart in your mouth to give you that nice tender feel. Thickness-wise, you want each slice to be about half a centimeter thick. Next, it's time to velvet the beef. I actually made a complete guide on how you can velvet your meat, and in that video, I covered 3 different techniques. These techniques work for chicken, pork or beef, so check out the link below if you want to learn more. For today's video, I'm going to use the egg velveting technique.
So I'm going to split this in half. I'm going to separate the yolks from the whites. Just pass it back and forth in the eggshells and then bloop, leave it in the bowl. So we only want to use the egg whites because egg whites are actually alkaline in nature, and just like sodium bicarbonate, the alkaline property will actually help the muscle fibers in the beef to relax and absorb more flavor and stay tender at the end of the cooking process. For the yolks, don't throw it away, you can use it in an egg fried rice or maybe in an omelette.
So here's my recommended formula for velveting your meat. For every half a pound of meat, you need 1 tablespoon of egg whites, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and 2 teaspoons of Shaoxing cooking wine. If you want, you also can add 1 teaspoon of oil. Now this works great as a base, but you also need to add your seasonings.
Now for seasoning, we'll need 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce for the color, and about 1 teaspoon of sugar.
Give everything a good mix and add in your beef. Make sure you mix well for even distribution.
Now the beef is in the marinade, we'll leave this for about half an hour. Now just a few more ingredients to prepare. We'll need garlic, onions, and red and green bell peppers. For garlic, we have about 4 cloves finely minced. So we will be using half an onion and half of each of the red and green bell peppers. We're going to slice them up into about equal bite-sized pieces.
Finally, we'll need to make a cornstarch slurry, so combine 1 teaspoon of cornstarch with 2 tablespoons of water.
Now the beef has been marinating for half an hour, and in a restaurant context, the next step will be typically to pass the beef through some hot oil or water, and this is called 过油 or 过水. But in the home cooking context, I find it to be a little bit too cumbersome, so what I like to do is I actually like to heat up a wok with some oil and I'll sear the beef for just about a minute or so. I don't want it to be overcooked, so the moment it's no longer red, I'll take it out. We want to make sure the beef is not overcooked because we will fry it one more time in the wok with all the other vegetables and the sauce, and we'll bring it all together. By doing this, we'll create a natural protective layer over the beef, so when we introduce it to the wok, it wouldn't overcook or lose too much moisture, so they can stay nice and tender. Now you can see that the wok is really dirty right now, so give this a good wash and then we can cook the rest of the dish. Okay, now it's time for the stir fry. Make sure you have all your ingredients in front of you because everything's going to happen really quickly.
Now heat up your wok and add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of cooking oil followed by your minced garlic. Move it around constantly so it doesn't burn, and once it starts to brown, add in your onions and bell peppers. After about 30 seconds, the vegetables will start to soften, and now it's time to add in your beef and about 4 to 5 tablespoons of the black pepper sauce that we made. Toss this around and cook this for about a minute to really allow the flavors to develop. We really want to make sure that the beef is able to absorb all that sauce. Now we will deglaze the wok with 1 tablespoon of Shaoxing cooking wine, and to get a nice unctuous sauce, we're going to thicken this up with our cornstarch slurry. Fry this for another 30 seconds to cook out the starch and you're done.
Ooh, look at that! It smells amazing. The dish is ready. It's time to serve. As you can see, the beef is glistening with all the delicious sauce and it's so aromatic right now. I can't wait to try this, but before we do, we need the most important thing in any Chinese meal: white rice.
White rice is a great accompaniment to this dish because the umami-rich peppery sauce pairs very well with the subtle sweetness from the rice. The rice is also a great base to soak up all that sauce and to distribute the flavor.
So here we have our bowl of beef and rice. Let's try the beef. Now the beef is really good because we spend the time and effort to velvet the beef. It's really moist, tender and juicy at the same time, and it's picked up all the delicious aromas from the black pepper sauce. So the black pepper has really penetrated the beef, and when you pair it with the bell peppers and onions, it really adds that crunch to make this dish so addictive. Now the onions and bell peppers, they're not there just for visual appeal. They also help to add a crunch and sweetness to the dish that helps to cut through the richness of the beef. So to get the perfect bite, get some rice, beef, capsicum and onions and just wolf it down. So I hope you can see the benefit of making your master sauces in advance. Of course, as a master sauce, you can use this for other recipes as well, such as black pepper chicken, prawns and crabs. So let me know in the comments what other kind of black pepper dishes do you want to see, and I can make a video on it as well.